welcome, everybody. Welcome to BeoTalk 197 with Old Man Willie.
Oh, dude, I'm in pain. Fuck off.
Like me, you'll get to enjoy about 2 hours of grunting and moaning. So if you're the lonely female watching this, is what you can expect
There
if
we
you ever
go.
date
Yeah.
him.
Every time I get my nerve pinched in the back, it's that's a lot of laughs. Frick! I bought this. You can see it. See this thing here?
Yeah.
It's like a roller. So now I go like feel like a cow that goes up to those brooms and shit they have, and just sit there and rub against it.
So you're basically like my cat with speakers.
Yeah, but I can still reach. So yeah, I'm hoping to get tomorrow and get some needles in the back. Get some IMS.
Oh, we're already on the Brexiting. Jolly.
So
let's start off with the usuals. If you're looking for some SKINNYPLAY covers and/or goodness, you can use our referral link, and I'll post it in chat here. Buy any 2 products, and they can be very small, and you can get 10% off. Nick and I still have to do a giveaway at one point. We've already decided that we don't care. This is gonna happen.
fuck.
And at one point or another, you'll be able to win this A9 cover.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Is that the one we're going with?
I think so.
My first ass challenge. Successful. All right.
Unless people really want to, you can also have this from Willie.
Oh, yeah, this one's more elegant. This is not Friday after work. This is dreams coming true right there.
So we'll have that, but don't forget to support SKINNYPLAY.
That's just terrible.
Also, if you want anything Willie related printed on a custom cover, you get 10% extra discount.
No way, that's not happening. You fucking bastard. For real? They actually agreed to this?
Yes, well, they said it in chat once, so I'm keeping them to it.
Oh my god.
So that's
good. I gotta post more pictures on Instagram for people to resource out of. Jesus Lord.
And what else did we have? Oh, yeah. A friend of the show, Karel, if you're looking to get some fantastic photography done, he always manages to add some B&O in his professional gear whenever it's a photo shoot, which I really like.
Nice. Took a little bit, but I found it. Yeah, I like that.
So this is always sweet. I mean, it's good to have good photographers because like my iPhone pick and Microsoft Paint skills aren't a match for any of this.
No, that's nice. I like that. I like that he puts B&O in it. It looks better than their own.
Oh, totally agree. So, and yeah, I mean, I like professional photography in general. Like, there's just something about it where you can see it's not shot on iPhone or something. Or
I wonder if there's a stage out of focus in the back.
I don't know. Could be. But even the sexy pics, there's some sexy B&O in it.
I like it. I like it a lot.
So, yeah, if you have any photography needs or anything of the sort, that's Karel. He also has a portrait gallery here on Instagram. So go and visit that if you haven't yet. Yeah, the lady doesn't hurt the photography, not at all. But
No.
let's say you have a beard like Henrik, he can make you look right as well.
Speaking of Henrik, he's got something going on in his house.
Yeah.
It feels bad for Henrik moment today.
Harmony basically got destroyed. Yeah.
Yeah, a little one chucked the little toy car, into the screen. I laugh, but it's not funny at all, man. So yeah, his screen is pooched.
Yeah. Well, that's what you get when you have kids, right?
No, you know what? This would never happen with the old B&O TVs because they have glass in front of it. This car just would bounce off, and that's the end.
Unless the glass shatters.
Not with that, dude. That would just go bing, and that's it. Maybe you'd had a mark there, but it's just a feel bad moment, man.
Where is
Feels
it?
bad
Did
because
he
the
actually...
kid's not even aware of it. It's like it's dead, completely pooched.
He sent us a picture where, like, I don't know if you can turn it on still, but there was like green and purple lines. Is like.
I wonder if let me see that on the phone. That feels bad, bro.
Well, on the other hand, I feel sad for having to like his videos because this is not a likable moment.
No, but you can't dislike because it's terrible.
Yeah, so I guess it's time for him to get a new screen, maybe G1 or G2.
Now he's thinking of upgrading, I guess, the size too, right?
Yeah.
Where's BeoTalk stuff? There we go. Oh, you should post the link that I sent you back at Olufsen. I want to make a modular speaker.
Yeah, I have it pulled up. So in case you speak Danish, then you can watch Henrik's video. By the way, Karel is in Belgium, so if you want any professional photos taken in Belgium or surrounding areas within reason, go give him a call. And SKINNYPLAY just delivers anywhere inside the world.
I don't have the picture. I don't know where it went. Or was it just posted on Instagram? I don't remember. If you just shared your reel. Well, yeah, that sucked some ghoulies right there.
Let me see. Where is it? Because it stands out quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, that sucks balls. Yeah, dude. That's no good.
It's it's hurtful. But then again, that's what you get for raising Vikings and not teaching them how to restrain their anger in the right places, like a Swede.
Serve him right for getting that butt ugly Panamera. Easy, Brian. Oh shit.
Well, it's just the thing, right? Just the thing.
It's just the thing, man. Everybody's got to just the thing. Oh man, I cleaned my Lab 90s over the week, and I was surprised how much dust actually it did get. Well, even though I'm vacuuming it, right? Or I was vacuuming the sails. There's still a lot of dust that got in. Not a lot sits on the drivers though.
No, they move.
The fabrics are done. Like the yellow and the glue, like you can't see it when they're all installed, but when you take them off, it's awful on the other side, man. It's just awful. I love them. They still look great. Also, they look so much smaller when you take the top off them. I don't know why.
Because they lose like 80% of the volume.
Yeah, it's funny how that it just makes them so big. So yeah.
I mean, I like them a lot, but the white is.
Well, you pay for it.
it's the same with 5s and 20s to an extent, although though they are worse because there's that grill right behind them, which collects all the dust between the fabric and the grill. So it like has all the time to nicely rub in there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the 20s, the white 20s definitely, they're not good. Even the Lab 9s in white, you can see the literally the grill marks. And what's the other one that also goes? Lab 8000s in white. I've seen the woofer side does has the little, eyeball on it from the dust going in and out. You know what I found weird? When I was packing up the Avant, the back panels, right, to slide on and shit, they have magnets on them, right, to click on. And every piece, like every part where of the metal where the magnets were, had, like, I don't know, like it must have been metallic dust or whatever it's pulled from the atmosphere over the years of air circulating, and they just settled like on all these little magnet attachments had it. It's pretty interesting to see that. And I was like, what else do you breathe in here? Like, where's this metal coming from? Right, from the metal in the uh forced air, right? Like,
Yeah,
it's interesting.
maybe. Who knows? By the way, DJ Neo says, reminds me of back in the day when Wii remotes destroyed TVs.
Yeah, bowling games and shit. Remember that?
Yeah, I'm too good to put these straps on.
Yeah.
Oh, last Monday we talked a bit about Kevin's screen and why it got burn-in. Well, apparently this is the outline of the. It's hard to see the YouTube logo, like these lines.
Okay.
And then another reason in other colors is teletext. Because it permanently says weather and traffic in Dutch somewhere that you can barely see. Which
Damn.
is a bit crap, but unfortunately you can get it replaced. Like, so this is where like if you watch a lot of this sort of stuff. Oh,
Who does that? Who watches this? Why would you do that to yourself?
Apparently
with
him.
Blue screen, bro. That's so hard on your eyes to read. I don't know. I was never a fan of teletext, to be honest. I never understood why B&O insisted on having that goofy ass button in there for so long on the remote.
Yeah. It is what it is. You can't.
Should have been in the list a long time ago.
Oh, by the way, I need to make a poll.
Pull it up. What are you polling there?
Well, the giveaway. Like, are we? Is this a full-on joke, or will you actually wear it in your living room?
I'm fucking put no on my side. It's a little weird to have myself in, self-portrait.
Well, you can't win because you're and a host and you don't have an A9, so.
Just shut me down right there. Oh, Christ on a cross. Oh.
I was also wondering for people with significant others, B&O
actually. How do you feel about it? I'm gonna grab an Advil, dude, because I'm gonna die. I swear to God. Listen to the rattle of a pillbox.
People with significant others. B&O actually, for a change, has gift ideas that are sensible and reasonable.
Like what, A1?
Like H95s, and they're on sale for Valentine, so you have a little bit to go if you want to get her some headphones. They're from $8.99 for $6.39, which is a good deal. I mean, that's nearly 30% off.
Yeah, it's not bad.
An A1 Gen 2, fantastic speaker. And this sort of
Featuring
thing.
Alexa.
I mean, I remember getting over Christmas. I got one of these gift ideas, and one of the gift ideas, obviously, as is the last few years, is
Set of 50s.
Yeah, and this time it also said a set of 90s.
Why not? Go
I mean,
to town,
you
baby.
just give that away to somebody you know, right?
No, you buy that for your husband. That's a wife right there. That's a keeper. I don't know, man. I think that they're starting to wake up from that. Cause like if you're being realistic, like even the level would be something to consider, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a little further up from the BeoLit 20, but I could care less about the BeoLit 20. Like BeoLit 20 to me is a nightstand radio that you can put your phone on so it charges it. You don't really move it about, and because you can program timers into through the Bluetooth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Through the app, so you can use it that way on that or in that fashion. But other than that, I would opt in for a level any day of the week because then you can tie that into the gateway, integrate it, and so on and so forth. Much better.
Actually, David has a fantastic idea. Forget the ring, get the 90s. Hmm. Hmm.
There you go, honey. I love you.
I showed that in our living room.
That's right. And we'll show you my love in the living room. Look at these. Look at these speakers, baby.
Wait,
Just sit right here. I tuned them for you. And then blast the shit out of it.
Marky Meister says, "Wonder when new colors for the level are announced." Normally it would be around now, but I think they have issues with supply changes like everybody else.
Yeah, I think they got issues with everything.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they came with an anthracite one, like all the other speakers seem to go now. They're probably gonna go with some kind of walnut version at some point, but it also has to be to the degree that they have to probably look at like things like walnut and see if that hasn't gone up like 300% all of a sudden. Because I was speaking to some people, and there's apparently certain chips in like the 50s, and
that are now running low.
They are normally like this is like I think something like the USB controller or something, and they're normally like $5 or something. If you want them guaranteed delivered in a month, you're paying $300 for them now.
Each?
Yes.
Wow.
Which is like, holy fucking, you need 2 of them for a set.
Well, I guess that justifies how much they had raised the prices.
Only partially. Sandeep found out for us in their annual call for investors and whatnot, they were also saying that for 50s, 90s and that sort of thing, the actual price category is more on par where they want to be. So it's not only that, but I'm still annoyed by that because that's like you're giving yourself a pat on the back for something. Like if you were sprawling in money, right, because of lockdowns and whatnot, and everybody came to you, then sure. But it's not like B&O all of a sudden has money to spare.
No, they don't. They never really did anyways. They had always had just enough. Like they had just enough to sustain the company. A couple of times the boat almost tipped over, but they always got enough water out that they always stayed afloat no matter what. And good for them. But that's the times we live in, man. You can't just everything's getting that way. One of my clients, Nick, visited in Vancouver. Like they're doing a reno. They're getting their appliances in the apartment that they bought 2 months ago. they're getting the goddamn appliances in October of this year. That's how far out it is. So like everything's so far out. Everything's affected by this nonsense that people are waking up from finally.
Yeah,
So
like Sandy says, yes, the prices, the price rising were not all due to input cost. As I said, Monday, some of the prices were what they felt they could get away with, and I'm not a fan of that at all because they are already
no.
expensive. Like if it was Focal or Denon or Bowers and Wilkins or something like that, I wouldn't be happy, but I would mind it less because whenever something goes wrong, you get proper support. And B&O doesn't have the same kind of reputation anymore.
No. Not if you're calling the numbers and such. Like the only way that I remember that the reputation of the B&O service was either when I was working as a salesman to have, coordinate enough that I could send Chris at the time, the installer, to deal with this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And if not, then I would be there at 6 o'clock, 5:30 we close, 6 o'clock, by the time I shut everything down, whatever, and drive over. Because usually those issues would be like nearby in downtown. I would go, fuck it.
Yeah.
Get it sorted, right? And it's it's a small inconvenience to you, but it goes so far and it goes so far as far as how they perceive that.
I mean, as Sandy says in chat, for anybody that doesn't have chat up, some of the price rise was to maintain premium market positioning, and it's, to me, that's like, this is almost the Ferrari Porsche debate, right? Like a Porsche does 9/10 of a Ferrari for like 50% of the money. Like, personally, I feel B&O is in a better position. If they are in a Porsche position where people know they're buying something premium for just under the premium pricing, which is already a premium. Let's be fair, like Porsches aren't cheap or anything.
Yeah, speaking of premium, I put a premium dent in my fucking level. So I talked to my tech to see how much, like if I can just replace, because it's right at the top on the rail, the buttons and shit. And the part itself, the replacement part, is floating around 400 US, because it's a whole frame you have to replace. They don't give you just one, which I kind of understand because anodizing match or whatever the hell. So
yeah, generic enthusiast is being cheeky over on Twitch, saying pretty bold attitude for a headphone company. On that front, I'll have a video out Thursday.
What do you got?
I can't tell you.
Fuck, I thought I was gonna spoil it. I thought I could just pull it out of you like that. Good try.
Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't yet already.
That's funny. Oh, yeah, B&O is getting pretty out of reach. But I think that's the whole, I don't know, not to sound like a conspiracy theory, it's just the elites will be able to buy it no matter what. Like there's, ultra rich, they don't get stunned or even, they don't even care, in my opinion, whatsoever, as far as what is.
Sure, but you need a heck of a lot of those people to be favorable to your brand as a B&O.
Well, and certainly it's not going that way. It's going the other way. There's less and less of these people. They do have copious amounts of cash, but then again, like no matter how rich you are, you can only live in so many places on Earth, right? Like you can't just, and you only live at one at one time. So there's that, and yeah, you can only drive so many. Or you can own so many cars, but you can only drive one at a time. So I don't know. I think that the price increase was a little too much. And if it is gonna be that, then it should stay that for at least 2 years. Like they should completely skip the next year price increasing, because it's done on annual basis, right?
Yeah.
There's always gonna be just a little more salt on the wound.
Yeah, I wasn't not expecting them to adjust prices, but they've adjusted them hard, and I don't know. I don't see it going well. That's more so what I'm worried for. I mean, I'm potentially over the fact that 90s are now out of reach. We'll see whatever happens on the secondhand market for me, but
You'd only have to do it on in Europe before you would come out here, because here you're gonna take a fucking salty bath, dude.
well, buy yours.
I'm not selling mine. Where do you even get that? Like, I'm actually, now that I packed the ones, I'm like, I don't think I want to sell them when I go there. That's right.
Well, you'll have an
Nice
accident.
speakers.
Your brake lines won't function.
I'll have an accident.
It's the Canadian salt that has eaten through the connection bars.
That's right. There's no salt here.
And then mysteriously your will appear on my desk.
No, they're nice. They're very
Speaking
nice
of
speakers.
things last moment,
You got one?
I got one.
Sick.
I got
How
one
did
of.
you manage that? Don't you have one already?
Yes, but my dealer managed to snag up one of the last few from the last production line. So I asked for a black one, and I got a black one. So in case anybody's interested, I haven't actually unpacked it yet.
Nice. Crack the seal.
But since we're both moving, I thought, like, there's no way in hell I'm going to get one of these in a year time over there somewhere.
No. No, you might as well just get it now.
And every place we actually want to live and that we're looking at has more rooms. And this actually works bloody well. And it works with everything we already have. So I thought, more multi-room in the house.
Yeah. It took you a bit.
Well, it's like they've upped their sticker game or something. Like, holy hell, that thing is stuck.
Hello. Nicely packaged.
I always like how they do this sort of
4-tab.
Yeah, like a lot of brands and companies put it in like cheap plastic or whatever, right? But it's actually nice to like unbox it.
Should keep the box, man. For
Oh,
moving.
I absolutely will. Daniel, I'm not reading your whole comment because I'm looking at something, but I see BeoVision 14 and
No.
sweet, totally pristine.
Nice.
Like I also like that you have a little is it 3/8 thread?
It's the same thread that is on the tripod.
Yeah, so you can mount them, and for people that don't know, like this is where the connection panel is, like your power and your ugly stickers that meet compliance and shit are in there.
I just wish that they had a network port in there instead of that USB-C. You can't see shit, dude. There we go. That's what I'm hoping for. Oh, my Chrome's relaunch, freaking Chrome. Sometimes froze, everything froze.
So coming back to Daniel, because that's important. Thinking about buying a used BeoVision 14. Does anybody know if there are updates for this TV on Android, or will it need to run Apple TV to work with streaming services? Yeah, don't buy a BeoVision 11 with an Apple TV.
Yes.
If you want that. And if you want to make it look like a BeoVision 14, get the BeoVision 1155 and then get the BeoVision 14 oak cover. But
if you ever can. But that's, the only thing that, yes, it's a 4K TV, but on a 55-inch, dude, from how far you are with the contrast screen, it makes zero difference to a 1080p, first of all. Second of all, the menus look better because they're still on 1080p. They didn't upscale the menus in those TVs. And it's terrible. The 14 is, to this day, in my opinion, is a terrible, terrible television.
It's mostly the Android. Like the screen.
That's right.
The screen went from like the two side dimming lighting thing to global dimming, which means that if the screen, or if there's a dark scene, the whole picture dims, even if there's just a candle in the middle. Like it loses that pop and that sort of visual nicety. It's not per se the worst screen, but it's like the BeoVision 11 has a better screen, but a lower resolution. What's
11 it
actually
is, man.
terrible is the whole Android situation. Same for Avant Mark IIs, like, or NGs as they're called. Stay away from them, please, for the love of God, because you'll be annoyed. Same with the BV Horizon.
I don't
Horizons
think that
are
those
okay,
TVs.
but occasionally, but a lot of them you have to like reboot them every 2-3 weeks at
I
least.
don't remember the Horizon, but I don't think that they allow you to download puck tables from the USB. Because I had like B&O has this puck tool that you can basically change stuff. Like I changed the Roku remote that when you press the red button, instead of going home, I put home on the green, and when the red one is pressed, it just automatically fires up Netflix. So then I could just basically make a macro for the gateway that every time they press the button on a downstairs keypad, Netflix fucking fires up.
For anybody that doesn't know how M3 looks like from the inside, by the way.
I wonder what that, the dweeb on the top of it is. Because you have it upside down, don't you?
No, that's the...
Also, the tweeters on the bottom?
Yeah.
I always thought it was on the top. But there's no tweeter. There's nothing in there. It's just this protrusion. I don't know what.
Tweeter and
Yeah.
the regular drive. It's a bit boomier than other speakers, but you can tone it down, and I like it a lot, especially for the money. Like, bloody hell, was this ever a great speaker that got underappreciated?
Mm-hmm.
Again, but you did terrible at promoting this thing.
Yeah.
Like, this is just nice. And I have the gray one, so I think I'll actually flip out the covers.
Yeah, parts for BB11, even Avants are becoming an issue to be honest, especially the boards on the Avants. But with BB11s, well, depends where you live. Like here, the only issue is that, like, if you, let's say, God forbid, you break the glass on it, it takes 3 glasses to be shipped here in order to one of them make it in one piece. So that's terrible.
Yeah.
Boy, that ad was not
And you
kicking
actually
in, bro.
have... That's not hyperbole. That's actually what happened to you.
Yeah, on the 4th time, it came in and it was scratched from the inside because the coating got scratched by the new packaging that they developed, which was these super tough air pillows.
Mm.
They're especially, I think, made or welded to go around the TV, but not fucking naked glass.
Yeah.
Because the TV's got a back, which is goddamn metal, so then it all sits there and it's all fine. But then when you don't have that shit there, it goes right in and just grinds all the way from Denmark to my house at it.
Yeah, that shit's terrible.
Just for me to open it and go, God damn it, close it and ship it back. So, yeah.
Where did I have my M3 pictures? What I'm gonna do with it? Because actually, this is technically my Valentine's Day gift to my girlfriends.
What a dick! You just opened it.
Yeah, that's all right. She knows it. She was there when I picked it up.
That's all right.
I mean, besides all the sweet people that help us, like Prestige and the super chatters, like my girlfriend is actually helpful with the show or that sort of thing. Here's the picture. So mine are gonna look like this, and I like that look a lot, the flipped look.
I like the gray one. Actually, I like them both.
So yeah, and then she's gonna have one on her desk or office area, so she can multi-room the whole thing, and yeah, it'll be sweet. I just have to remember to turn the fucking Bluetooth off again.
Oh god.
But other than that, that's fine. We'll be all right. I actually we're finding out, and I've been told by her actually to get my B&O addiction on, because what is it? You need to be able to sort of, not like accurately prove that whatever valuable stuff you take with internationally as stuff that's part of your house, that you've used it for a year. So
you're gonna go outside and roll in the grass now and shit?
No.
Look at you.
So I said, what was it, last week, that I had eyes for potentially another set of 17s, but I wouldn't know what to do with. Well, I know what to do with them in the US. So that sounded to me like, go ahead, buy another set.
That's a green light in my eyes. That's funny. I misinterpreted it, honey. I already bought them.
Steve asked, did she want B&O for Valentine's? She always says no because of the pricing, but then once it's there, it's like, ooh, this is actually really nice.
That's how you do it.
It's one of those we pretend to be conscious of certain things. Just like with the bloody TV, right? Like, we don't need a TV that's big. And now it's like, actually, 55 is really small.
Damn. Well, what do you get? You get 77, so...
Yeah.
Thinking of an 88?
97, if potentially possible. I'll jerry-rig something.
I think at that point, it would look stupid with the lamellas, with the wings. Those would be too big and too thin and too long.
Don't worry about it. It'll be fine by the time it'll be available.
What?
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe they'll make a different mechanism for, or like, I don't know, like, because the TVs are getting progressively bigger and bigger now, right? So at what point do you do something that, maybe they'll consider the design something like Luba has, that the speaker comes from underneath the TV, or the TV raises up again above the speaker. Like, how do you make it interesting nowadays, right? Think about it. Like, what would be the next way that you would motorize a B&O TV? New panel, like
up and down or left to right, because that's quite the difference. Because I think, like, not to harp on you or something, Sandeep, but Sandeep and many others want TVs that are flat on the wall mountable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can wall mount a Harmony, but it'll never be flat. Like, you'll always have that sort of thigh gap. Sandeep doesn't like thigh gap. It's like the legs have to touch down to the knees.
Well, it's the same thing for any TV, really, other than like BB11s and 12s, because those do go flat against.
Yeah, but then again, what does he have? BB12.
I know.
I mean, so then it comes down to how many different designs of TV can B&O carry in its portfolio. Because with movement and that sort of thing, they can do a bunch of stuff that's interesting, but do people actually want it?
No, I'm just saying, like, how do you make the TV nowadays interesting? If, like, let's say we're talking brand new TV, like Harmony is, that, that's a revolutionary movement, right?
Yeah.
As far as like how that works, because I've never seen that before. So, like, what do you do on the next TV? Because they've done, drop and open. They've done exactly what the Luva did with their TVs, but they only done it with the 483 and 4103, right? BeoVisions, where the speaker basically TV raised above it and the speaker came up out front. So there was that variant of a movement. Now you got the TV sweep across in front of the wings. How would you do it next? Like, what would you make it interesting? Because, like, if you're talking about over 90 inches, dude, like, that's a lot of panel.
I think you got to go back to the BV4 days, where up and the speaker comes forward from like that
Hmm.
motion, right? Where the
Yeah, but then again, like the BB4 was what, a foot thick TV, right? You had room to afford to put that channel in the center channel in there at that point of time. But nowadays, like if the TV is like, are they gonna take on
I mean, it's
the
like an inch thick, so it's not
but
very thick.
but could you do it like maybe they take on that same idea as Contour, that you just fit in an LG panel into a thicker box cabinet where you can, obviously that immensely improves on acoustics, because now you have all this room inside the cavity that you can put speakers and whatever, port it somehow and whatnot and things. Like there's a lot that you can gain from that. And but would you even need anything motorized at that point?
I don't think so. I think that's back where we're going to the point of static TVs. Maybe on the floor stand, but not in the movement up and down. I mean, I think the Harmony's here to stay for like another 5 years or so, and that'll be the flagship.
I would like them to make a bracket that is flat against the wall, and you can turn it this way, right? But you can close it and also turn it that way. So it would be hinged on this side, right?
Mm-hmm.
Routed through and hinged on that side. So there'd be motor on both,
Yeah.
like up against the wall. And then whichever way you wanted to open it, it would just open or lean into that. Because that's something that I always wish that the V1 had, or had it on a cantilever mount, especially for where I'm at it. Because I'd rather, when I'm cooking, I would rather have it tilted towards me. That's a first world problem, like a son of a bitch at this point. But it tilts only the other way when I eat. So is what it is, I guess. But that's my thought. Like if that could be something like that mechanically done, because I don't know what else you could actually come up with that
The
that would
only
be
thing I can
interesting.
think of other than that is the issue co-opt the LG signature display, where
So it
you have this whole box for speakers and the TV just rolls up.
how much is that? Like a freaking 100 grand?
I think they're now going for 55 or 60 or a 65-inch panel.
Fuck, that's still a lot of cash.
Yeah,
But that's cool because you have active aspect ratio, right? It just opens how much is needed.
and it's in many ways it's very B&O with, like, if you turn on TuneIn, that just the music section is shown in the top bit.
90,000 Canadian. So yeah, plus tax.
Yeah.
So buy it in Alberta because it's only 5% GST. You go to Vancouver, you're gonna pay 7 because they get provincial sales tax too. Oh yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I love this idea for a TV. Because you can basically put it in front of a window or whatever and not have your view blocked at all, even less than with a Harmony.
Oh,
But
that's exactly.
but the price is
A little too obsessed. A little
beyond
too absurd.
prohibitive.
It's 90,000 Canadian dollars. That's absurd, man. That's insane.
Well, I mean, some people apparently argue if you're going with 90s anyway, that are 140,000 Canadian now. Then you might.
I view televisions more disposable than speakers.
Yeah, me too.
So I don't. I like to invest in a good set of speakers and then rotate a TV every now and then. Well, which I've had Avant since the Avant came out
Yeah,
for a long time.
like, I'm not
Well,
saying
like
this
few
is
of
the
them.
end all and be all, but LG made this movement TV where the bottom panel comes up and down, and also
That's pretty cool.
depending on aspect ratio. Not the big, but yeah, like you say, we're kind of stuck for movement. Like, what the hell do you do now? Like, we've basically done everything.
But did you?
Well, they haven't invented the fourth dimension yet, where it like comes over and it's gone.
Yeah, I wonder where that's gonna go.
Like
with
it
the
moves
TV.
out of time and space or something.
or the freaking metaverse or whatever else have you that
Can
makes
you
some
imagine
goggles.
that with those VR goggles walking around and you just punch your TV? It's like, fuck!
Oh, dude, I've seen so many of those like TikTok fails and people just ruin their own house with the VR walking around. It's so funny. Check out the Samsung Zero movement gone wrong. I'm quite interested in that. We got 50 peeps watching. Can we get some more likes, please? Might as well play with the algos.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think so too, Vlad. Or rollable OLED will be next. I think that's the way to do it. The phones are already taking over that industry. Well, they pioneered that industry, quite honestly. And those also do prove how durable those screens are, because you do think you open your phone more than you would open your TV. My eyes. Depends on how obsessed you are with TikToks or whatever's and shit.
Speaking
But
of TikTok, this is the TV for you.
is that the one that turns to vertical?
Yeah.
I've seen that in my yeah, one of my clients' kids has that TV.
Like, what the fuck for?
It actually sounds really good. I gotta give him that. It's got a nice sound to it because it's deep, and I do not understand the utility of that, but that's a pretty interesting idea, to be honest. Alex.
I mean, I don't know. Like, it's different movement, I guess. I don't like it whatsoever. Then again,
I like it that you don't like it.
was it Six Nations Rugby? You probably don't watch that.
No.
But even Six Nations Rugby is now
Dude,
sponsored by bloody TikTok.
I
So
watch a lot of TV now. I still have the V1 to defend it, but no,
so
no.
you have rugby that is arguably more violent than American football, and these people are sponsored by TikTok, and it's like,
Hmm,
okay, like that. It
that's
literally says
interesting.
TikTok on the rugby ball.
Really?
Yes,
That's funny.
it's like, oh please, please TikTok, go away.
It's such a brainwash of constant nonsense that it's unbelievable. Like if you turn it on, like you can spend hours in it, hours and hours and hours in it.
Yeah,
But
it's a bit of those. Yeah. I don't know. I appreciate the engineering, but in terms of a TV, it's sort of like.
it's a novelty.
I mean, the only time that makes sense to do is if the app developer doesn't take into account the normal orientation of a picture, or if you're screen sharing from your phone. But how often do you do that with a normal TV?
Yeah. What do you do? Vertical, like Skyping vertically?
No, like if so, AirPlay 2 and Chromecast, right? You can share the screen, you can copy that to
Oh,
the
I see.
TV,
I see. Screen sharing.
and I
Awesome. And
think,
you have your phone exactly the same way.
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So it's like, hey, want to see this TikTok? And instead of like showing somebody like that, look at it on my TV, man.
Oh, what a gimmick.
Yeah, well, maybe it's because TikTok is like super duper Chinese deep state, and a lot of companies like LG and whatnot, Korean companies, are like, we don't really want that spy shit with our spy shit on these TVs.
Dude, we can spy you in portrait and and widescreen. How would you like to be spied on? Fudge? Yeah, dude, it's a good party trick, like DJ Neos is. That's what I saw at first. Because when I first saw it, right? Because the dude's like, "Oh, watch this TV does," right? And goes to vertical. I'm like, and I looked at him because he's like 19, 18-year-old kid, and I looked at him like, and what benefits you with that? And the only thing is TikTok. I'm like, oh my lord. this generation of people is lost. They will vote one day, and that sucks.
Yeah, I mean, at least they're not standing still. At least we're beyond the point of black squares that don't do anything. And people are having some creative input on aesthetics.
Yeah.
But it's not actually all that practical. Like the LG versions are better because you actually can play with aspect ratios and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you, for whatever reason, hate the 21:9 bars, they can just move that, any of the movable things.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like one of those anamorphic screens, right, for
Yeah.
projectors, where the blackout is dynamic that comes down. They have it here in KNW. I should go watch a movie there one day.
So it's
Sometimes
yeah.
they're busy. I would like to see some stuff in there. Maybe the new Terminator. I haven't seen that, and I won't see it now for a while. I'm not gonna. Maybe I'll watch it on this. What's it called? On the computer with the headphones and surround.
Yeah. So, coming back to Marky Meister, what about shop closures mentioned in the announcement? I forgot I put it there nearly, but was that in the announcement? Wait, what? No, that was last week or the week before.
Yeah.
Anyway, doesn't matter. This shop is B&O Hegeman here in my surrounding area. And this shop has been around. It's in Dutch, so if you can't read it, sorry about that. But basically, what it says is that, dear customer, recently you may have heard that we had to close. They've been with Bang & Olufsen for 49 years.
Oh yeah, that story I remember.
This audio AV company has been around for 91 years, which is like, bloody hell, that's a long time. They've had B&O shops, 2 of them, I think, for 49 years. And what it came down to, which you can more or less read and they're apologizing for, is that apparently B&O wasn't happy where their shops were located, so they decided they had to move. And if you know how B&O works, these are all franchisers, more or less. Like there's maybe, like 15 stores in the world that are actually owned by Bang & Olufsen?
Yeah.
So
none of them in America are owned by B&O. They've gotten away from all of them. I don't think even New York, which is the headquarters, has does B&O own anymore.
Yeah, and so B&O basically decided, we think it's time for you to move both your shops to new locations. One of the locations was where another B&O shop used to be. 3 of them, actually, and they all failed because of the location wasn't that great. But some marketeers looked at it and thought it was amazing. So you know how that goes. People that don't really...
Because they look at the fucking Google Street View somewhere and go in there. It's like, that was where it would look nice over here. But they have no idea of what economy is around it and how accessible it is. That was the same problem that was with our B&O shop here in Calgary, where it has to be on, okay, screw it. So we'll put it on the most prestigious avenue in the city, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Avenue Mall. It's a freaking it's a pedestrian avenue, so after 6 o'clock the cars can drive through, but like there's people just walking, right? Not a lot of foot traffic, and an absolute utter pain in the ass for cash and carry stuff, because like it wasn't an issue at the beginning, because the cash and carry was you come over there and load up with a whole bunch of Beocom 1s and 2s and you go home and set it up and woohoo, right? But once the cash and carry became like A9, which is 36 by 36 inch box, whatever depth it is, probably 8 inches, and it's heavy as hell. And on top of that, you what I would normally do, I would just tape the legs to the box as well, so that doesn't, if they want to take it. and or people would go through the back alley to access. Back alley is one way, and on our strip there was 5 restaurants. Which
So
what
you always
happens at
have
the
the
restaurant? Resupply
disgusting
trucks,
garbage and
sick garbage, and supply trucks clogging the alley all the time, right? Because like he comes in there,
to give you that premium feel of that day
oh
old
my
food
lord,
in the bins.
yeah, and you go in there like we had, because it was a parking build, and on top of it was the terrace, so it was still on the property, and homeless would go in there and defecate and whatever and sleep, and you can't try to get out of work, and your exit door is blocked by a homeless dude sleeping in there. So then they developed this on motion activated so I think it was about 4 different buzzers at 4 different frequencies and pitches that they put together. It was the most annoying ass noise, and it went for about 15 to 20 seconds solid. Like it was like fuck off from here.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was
Well, that was the plan for this company's other shop. They were going to go literally downtown for more supposed foot traffic, but you can't get there by car, supply truck, that sort of thing. Also,
it's stupid.
in that area, you had to be open 7 days a week from, I think the minimum was 10 to 7.
So it's a mall.
Yeah, but we don't really have those. It's more outside here. But either way, that means with over 2 shops, they had like 5 guys or 6 guys. And it's like, wait, so we also have to hire new people to stay open that long because we're not going to work 7 days a week. Like,
that's right.
And fun fact: the rent is about 50% more. So good luck.
I don't know why B&O does that. Like, why do you do that to people? Like, I'm a strong believer of having one store at one location for as long as it can ever be feasible to be there, because that's the location that people will always know. Like, even if you come back here,
Yeah.
like,
what I also don't get, like, if the whole story, like I said, these people have been with B&O literally for 49 years. You have a relationship for literally half a century. And you go, we are basically putting out a take it or leave it option on you. It's like, why? Like, doesn't that relationship go a bit deeper than just pure money at that point?
not to the new CEOs and all these cold cut turkeys that have no idea what they're not just doing, but they don't care for the relationship of opinion, because the new age people are not grown up that way. They don't give a shit for a handshake and a good word. So that's my opinion.
And then again,
sorry,
obviously,
millennials, if you're
with the
offended,
move,
but that's the way
it's
it is.
like you need the latest concept, which is also like somewhere between 200 and 300 grand to invest in the shop appearance. It's like, good luck. According to our calculations, you'll make that back eventually.
Yeah, in 49 years.
And it's like, oh. And this is why I keep on saying, like, please support your dealers. Like, I know you can probably get certain stuff for like a tenner cheaper somewhere else, or Amazon if you're in North America. In North America, I get it a bit more, right? Because it's hard to go like 1,000 miles left or right, north, south, whatever.
There's nowhere to go, man. Like, there's very little shops, and see, and that's the thing also that I think B&O makes it difficult for them to for anybody to open one, because you have to come up with, I believe it's now $2 million cash to prove that you have in the bank to sustain the shop, which is it's utter insanity in my opinion. Because to make that money back, dude, like you'd have to have at least maybe like a condominium project where you're putting up 10 units immediately just to start, off on a good foot and good run. Because there is no way, and then you're held hostage, but not by now product availability, right? Because if you roll to B&O that you need, 10 pairs of BioLab 18s and these colors, or maybe everything is default, whatever. How long is that going to take for you to even deliver it and sell it? Because
yeah, Marky Meister says rumors are B&O wants the Amsterdam store to move to the PC Hoofd Street. It's 300k a year rent. It's the most fancy street in Amsterdam. It's like where, like, these streets in London where you see all the Bentleys and that sort of shit.
Yeah.
It's basically that in Amsterdam. But if you've ever been to that street, parking is bloody impossible. If you want the foot traffic is all fucking tourists looking at the like mega rich people that like illegally park and that sort of shit. Like no way that shop is going to survive there. I mean, the Amsterdam store where it is now is maybe not the most central in Amsterdam, but it's not uncentral. It's quite close to a lot of traffic. It's in a decent spot, and you can actually park because it's not so fucking busy all the time.
So potentially even John's shop is under that constant or imminent threat of having to move for no sense, rhyme, and reason.
Yeah,
to a place that is
it's
more
not prestigious
expensive and
enough,
doesn't
the
work.
location where you are.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck, man? But personally, I feel, and this is why I keep on saying support your dealer. And if it's like €10 more and you can manage to not have to pay, like you can manage to miss that, so to say, and give it to your dealer. B&O will have a much harder time making any of your dealers move if the sales are correct. Meaning, like, if you're doing good numbers, they will not say, we want you to move, right? Whatever that fucking number is for them.
Well, but wouldn't that prove that concept is wrong also with that store that's 49 years in operation? Wouldn't they be doing well enough to stay long enough in operation for that long, for 91 years more or less? KB, for 49?
Yeah, you'd think so.
Right? So
they had two of them for that long, two stores, not in two different places as well.
So where's the logic behind that?
I guess maybe it's the same reason, like they say, our prices can be higher because we want to exude premium. It's like, okay, if that's all it is, then it's not really justified, is it?
But are you keeping the margins low enough for the dealer or your presence to be in such streets is affordable? That would be my question. Because, like, yeah, if somebody tells me now, okay, you wanna have all your B&O still, like, yeah, then you gotta move to an apartment that you need to pay $5,000 for a month now, instead of $1,800.
Yeah, fuck no.
Well, thanks very much, man. I'm not. Yeah, here, take your shit and tally ho, I'm out.
I mean, so if you can support your dealers, like if you weren't here, like I keep on buying stuff, not just because I like B&O, but like I could have got this from online retailer like Cool Blue or something like that and got it cheaper. But it's like, do I care about that last €10? If I go to Cool Blue, right, and I need any kind of service, like they'll refer to me to some sort of fucking phone number.
You get a link in your email to bitch about.
Yeah, and they may take it back and send it around, and you get it back in like 2 months. But,
talk to the bot.
But at least with my dealer, I can actually go to him. He'll have half an hour for me, 40 minutes or whatever it needs to be, depending on what it is.
Mm.
And it's like that you pay somewhere for that service, and I'd rather have that.
I'm the same way, dude. And a lot of people are. Everybody buys from me. Some people, and you know what though? Like, I had one lady that bought stuff from Holt Ramp because they're like the official liaison over here. And I thought to myself, like, you know what? Fuck it. It's still money. I'll come and install it for you, or set it up, or let you help you set it up, because those, freaking Goonie models there that they've sold you this, they've sold you that on the look, not on the function, because they don't know diddly squat about the product. So
yeah. Gerard from Winston says same for dealer in Roermond here in Netherlands. Difficult to get by car. This country is a bit strange, right? That a lot of places people don't necessarily go to by car. So if it's harder to go to by car as a customer, that may not be the worst of everything. But like what they were doing to this shop that they just got fucking I can't get to it. Like it's a company of heritage, and we have a heritage dealer for 49 years that is like, goodbye, we don't want you anymore.
Yeah.
But anyway, as a customer, getting to it by car is maybe less bad than not being able to supply it. So one of the shops, like probably the same Amsterdam shop, if they want to move them to the PC Hoofdstraat, like, holy Christ, how are you going to deliver anything for that shop? Because you can't park a truck in that shop or in that street, not easily anyway. And if you can, it has to be on odd hours, so you have to be open for even longer. Like, you can't take a delivery during the day.
That's stupid. DJ Neo, I would recommend, instead of swapping your BeoSound 5 for a core with the dealer, sell your BeoSound 5 on eBay. You'll get more money for it, and then buy a core and a freaking Essence remote. and because you will end up buying an Essence remote for it, or a Halo if you really want to splurge. Halo's wicked, man. I really like this remote, but I need to get my hands on the Gateway and see if I can play with that. That'd be awesome. So, and yeah, like Zeus says on the Twitch, like, do you have the offsite storage required then, right? Because if it's a pain in the ass for you to deal with it, like, you more or less are just gonna bring product to the shop that, like, on what, once a week basis maybe, like, you resupply from your what's it called, from your offsite storage. Like, I had a perfect operation here when before the accident happened, where I actually thought about it when I cleaned my storage out yesterday. I looked around at it. I'm like, holy fuck, man. I used to have 6 industrial size shelves, like yay high, 5 levels, filled to the brim with B&O product. And yeah, now it's just, I got a few boxes with the freaking cat connectors. I've had Halo for a while now, Brian. I just never really, I guess, showed up in the stream, but
Yeah, you were also not with us for a long time. I mean, you were in fucking France, living the good life.
yeah. So, is it just me, or are you roboting on the microphone?
Am I?
I don't know. Yeah,
I don't
like,
think
it
so.
just goes, it goes like wobbly on a like bitrate dropping. I don't know if it's just me or anybody else can attest to that in chat.
It looks fine on my end. I'm looking over at my internet and it seems fine. Somebody's... Oh, she's just watching something 1080p. I can tell by the network usage.
Just dropping down.
But Woodcassette, thank you, Woodcassette, for subscribing over on Twitch. It sounds like the store I know pissed somebody off at B&O Corporate. I doubt it. Like I said in the chat, I think B&O has a premium, like, Apple vibe be of their bonnet. Like, you know how if you quite a lot of like high-end boutique type of shops are usually kind of hidden, and you need to know a guy that knows a guy to get to there, right?
Then I kind of like that.
Yeah, and I think B&O is sort of like, we don't want that. We want like the Apple store. Like, it's not just premium, but we need to be visible and premium. We need to be like in the city center or town center where nobody can get around us anymore.
But they need to also realize that they're not Apple. They're not the world's, first or second, whatever you want to call it, but it's one of the most used devices on the planet, right?
Yeah.
Like, competing with, like, what, Samsung maybe, and that's about it. So.
Yeah, so it's, I don't know, it's, I get it to a point, but I really don't like it when you have, what was it like, where you market as a B&O type company, where you market your Beogram repair, like, because of heritage and that sort of thing, and making the old stuff new, and here, like, the celebrate 40 years of multi-room, and connect the past and present, and yada yada yada, and then it's like, yeah, well, only in the way we particularly feel like it. It's like, really? Really?
The only thing that I got out of that nonsense in there, that picture with the 28s made me keep the 9,000. I'm not getting rid of it. I actually, when Nick was out in Vancouver, I told him to go to the client's house that I borrowed him my box because he's doing the reno. I went Brad to like make like a makeshift box out of an old TV. I'm like, shove his fucking 9,000 into his. I want my box back if I'm moving to Florida. Like, I need to have this thing safely packed, making sure that it makes it there in one piece. So,
I mean, and like Woodker says, Apple spends billions on actually advertising their product. Well, not only that, I bet you a lot of these Apple stores purposely can make a loss, right? Because that is also the advertising. It's the experience. Like, I don't know if you have a big Apple store, but a lot of the bigger Apple stores, they have like all these free learn how to work with your Apple product classes and shit. Like where you don't have to pay, you just have to have one of their devices. Like you cannot do that as a B&O dealer because you go bloody broke.
the dude like, explain me in depth the intricacies of the network link.
Yeah.
All right, that's 2 hours conversation going on right here, bud. You ready? Sit down.
I mean, I wouldn't mind, but like this can't come out of the dealer's pockets. You cannot do this on a franchise basis.
No.
I mean, I remember when was this end of 2019 on one of these. Their numbers weren't as great as they hoped to, and they literally blamed that they had too much stock in HQ because the dealers didn't buy enough of them. And it's like, what? So if the dealers don't sell it, they have to make you look better by buying more of your shit.
In colors that are not even marketable in certain regions. That's another thing that I don't like. Like, I understand you got a whole bunch of vegan hipsters that are running around with the man buns on their heads and designing what colors they're going to go with because that's what's going to look better with their freaking brass stone kitchen hardware. But that shit don't work here. Don't work somewhere else. Like when they had, you have to have red lab 9s on the floor. I'm like, dude, red lab, that's like a freaking, it's like a street cone. Might as well put a couple white striped tapes around the fucking thing.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna buy this. People buy dark gray and black speakers in Calgary and Alberta because they just remind them of oil, and that's what it is. That's just how simple this logic works.
I mean, I don't know about any of you guys in the chat, but how often do you just walk into a B&O dealer and just buy something?
Out of the gate.
Yeah. Like if it's headphones, I get it a bit, but even those are not like... I mean, around where I live and where my dealer is, it's not exactly a cheap place, but I don't expect people to just drop, well, at minimum €300 on a set of earbuds. Just like, oh, I walk in, no speakers, here, I have €300. Like,
back when I was little, the cheapest thing in the B&O in 2002 was the coasters. $35 each. That was it. That was the cheapest one. And if you wanted to go even cheaper, then it was a bottle opener, but they would usually just give you that. So, Dennis is asking if you guys experience in the building intelligence or building intelligence with the ASC and the Mozart. I can't fucking get my hands on one. Henrik is playing with it. It works flawlessly. I'm very excited to get it. I'll probably just order it from the boys in Florida since I'm already in cahoots with them anyways. Because I want to play with it. And it does work with Halo where you can, like the scripts and stuff that Henrik are developing, it's all open source, so they will post it on the website. I don't know if his forum or wherever he's going to post it, but he's going to post them. So it's just a drag and drop things you can do for your Halo so you can actually show time in it. And there's different things that they've changed in it or made cool. Also, it controls lights as well if you have lighting control.
It pretty much works the way it should. And the Mozart platform can now pull radio and other sources and vice versa. I'm not entirely sure. It would always say the metadata, but if it that's the only thing. It doesn't really matter that much yet. They're working on it, but as far as Hendrik has, I haven't heard a peep. Not even behind the scenes, really.
Mm.
Like it all seems to work, which is kind of nice.
Another app with it, moment Mozart and ASC are not joining together on the BLI. The normal app does. Very funny. I think the problem is how you are issuing those commands within the gateway. That would be my honest guess. That I know in here also, like in my environment with the gateway, there are certain conditions that like the join doesn't work really reliably. So
Bob says, I'm on a budget, but for all cables and other detail, I walk into B&O store for a reason you mentioned. Yeah, that makes sense for little things like that. But again, like, that's more of a service than something a dealer lives off. Like selling cables, right?
mhm.
It's good to there, and at least at my dealer, you can get customized length and that sort of thing, or you can go a bit cheaper and get the standard lengths and see whatever you do with excess cable. But but that's more of a service which I like. But again, like if B&O and especially dealers are living off sales, like they're in a tough position with all these prices the way they are at the moment.
I think that B&O sees itself as a consulting office. That they are like this, we are all this high ass end electronic, right? And we're gonna present ourselves as an architectural firm type of thing. That we're gonna be on a niche location somewheres, and you have to visit us, and it's a pain in the dick to get there because you're not wealthy enough to do it, to be dropped off by a limo or some shit. And I think they're missing a huge mark with it because that architectural firm can be developed in a mall somewhere in America, and they are talking on a budget of millions and millions and millions of dollars. And I had worked with architectural firms that did malls, and I was part of some of those projects, so I know how much money it can make
Mm-hmm.
versus somebody that sees themselves the same way, but they're only providing not the entire design of the structure, they're just providing a certain aspect of the interior design and function, right? So a couple speakers, TVs, where you can make those millions and millions of dollars, no matter how good you are. Even if you had people that could be willing to have a programmer sit there and just completely automate their house to tits in a week's time, even if you pay them $150 an hour, there's still not enough cash that you can make in those projects to be ahead of, let's say, a team of, like, let's say 7 or 10 people in an architectural firm that are dealing with the crazy project that is on the magnitude of that you will never even conceive of, or you'll never even make that money in the entire existence of your business what they make in one project. And I think that's really a hurting way to look at it, because that's not the way that these businesses work. Like, I think personally, like, if I were to open a B&O store, fuck it, I wouldn't go to what this is about nothing, Paul? Yes or no? How many
Yeah,
yeses?
I capitalized something and it somehow entered it
There we go.
as
Let's see how many A's and A's we get. Or is it closed? Oh, you
yeah, I
closed it,
closed
you
it.
dick. I should have left it. But that's just my opinion on it. I think that they're making a huge mistake by forcing these businesses into 3-4 times, or even if it's a double the expense, which is insanity. It's insanity. Like, our rent had been had the old man not been goofed and holding on to the legacy type of thing, and we built this, and it's harsh to tear it down. Well, you're gonna fucking tear it down anyways when we go out of business, so why don't we just do it now when we prolong our life here versus that. And he ended up actually to the point where there's a whole backstory to it, and He ended up selling the business or business building to a company that basically leased it back to him for $21,000 a month for 2 floors. That was our expense, and that was before anybody would fucking pay, because B&O wanted to be on Stephen Avenue. And when we decided to move, they still insisted to be on Stephen Avenue Mall, because we could have only moved within so much. And at that point, like, that didn't even make sense to move.
So you need to sell what, at least 60 grand a month to like more or less break even?
100 to break even.
Bloody hell. And you have to do that every month.
Every month. 100 to break even.
That's hard for
And
like
then
generic enthusiasts as a headphone company.
And I'm fucking making, honestly, I made $3,100 a month at that time after tax.
Wood Cassette over in Twitch said, even stores in heavy foot traffic areas, we almost never had random walk-in sales. B&O were mostly destination stores.
That's right.
I didn't read that out before I polled it, but I polled it on YouTube, and basically that's true.
So, when you heard of BLF 28s and you have the money to buy it, you're not going to walk into the store and just fucking buy them. Unless you're hardcore like us, I guess. But usually you would go in. Even you, Mike, you didn't buy them on the first day. You went in, you listened. Fuck yeah, these are sweet. You listen some more and you come back, blah, blah, right? Let the bugs fly around the head or in the head, and then boom. Like, you commit. But it's nobody buys beer on the first visit, man. That doesn't happen. If you buy anything on the first visit, it's not your first visit. It's your first visit in that store, per se. When you moved, like, we had people that moved from England, but buddy rolled in with all this gear and shit. He's like, yeah, man, voltage convert. Cool. Or I need PL cables or ML cables at that point, right? I need somebody to come and install my system in my apartment.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing, that it becomes unsustainable. And the biggest problem with that I had, that we had this huge third-party, super high-end theater upstairs. It was basically set up like an apartment, and it also had a boardroom, had a little bedroom with like the TVs that popped out of the fucking mantles and all this, crazy, right? Cool. Never really showed it because the guy, the manager, he used that more or less as a part source. So every time somebody's system went out, he just went and fucking yanked it off of that.
Well, if it takes like 3 months before parts arrive from Denmark, then...
No, that was like for Crestron and whatever, right? But then he would never reorder the stuff to fix ours, right? So then slowly the system just got robbed of all the crucial things and no longer worked. And at that point, I told the old man, like, you should just stop worrying about the main floor or the top floor. Just close it down. Let's rip it out. Let's just eat the dick on it. It's just what it is, man. That's the status quo we're in. The boat's taking up a lot of water, and we don't got enough buckets. And I think that if he did that, he would have saved that shop. I think that he would have saved it all the way to the pandemic.
Yeah. Dennis said, but Mickey, how many B&O dealers we've got over here in Holland? Well, I understand that, but clearly they were making enough money to survive. Like, it wasn't them that said, we have to stop because we can't pay anybody anymore. This country is also unique, where a 30-minute drive is considered far away.
So I'm going to my mom's house. It's 25 minutes now.
Yeah, so...
it used to be 35 or 40 almost when she was living at my sister's place.
If I go from where I live to Amsterdam, it's like 40 minutes, and that's like, oh, that's way over there. Like, no way am I ever shopping.
But that's Europe, though, man. Like, they have completely skewed perception of distances.
Yeah.
When I first came here, it was the same thing. Like, let's go to a movie. All right. So for me, it takes 15 minutes to walk to the movie, right? And, my cousin's like, okay, let's go, dude. It's noon. I'm like, the fucking movie's at 1:30. What are you doing? Like, what are we walking there? He's like, no, we're going to drive. So by the time we drive there, right, that's, from where they live to downtown was about a half an hour drive. So you drive the car there. Now you gotta find parking somewhere. So you go in, park the car, right? That's now all of a sudden like we're creeping up to 45 minutes. And by the time you walk in and buy the tickets, because there used to be lineups and shit, like movies were actually a profitable business back in the late 90s.
Yeah.
And yeah, my first movie actually in Canada was Saving Private Ryan. I'll never forget that. That's the whole story to it. And then we go in and yeah, then I've never been in a movie theater of that caliber, right? I come from a fucking Eastern Europe town of 30,000 people, for God's sakes. So we ain't gonna have much entertainment value in that city. If you ever travel, we got good spots.
It's a big town. Town I grew up in had like 5,000 people in it.
Shit, everybody's met.
Basically, yes. And everybody knew everything about everybody. It was really annoying.
Yeah, I was a little more secluded, I guess. But at any rate, my parents had a business at home, so I was, I guess, known as a kid. But nonetheless, went to the movie, just completely blown away. Once the whole onslaught started, when the door opened and the bullets started flying, people started walking out. It was insane. But yeah, that wasn't my understanding. Like, holy cow! Like, it took us basically hour and a half to be there on time. A ride home is 25 minutes or half an hour back, right? But because you don't have to do anything. But yeah, dude, it was. And now it's normal, right? Like if I go to Kelowna, I'm aware of the fact that I will be driving for 7 hours.
Straight. Yeah, that's insane. Like, to put it this way, if you did the North American or even UK thing, because the UK is a bit like that, but if B&O, let's decide we want a shop within, let's say, 45 minutes drive or so, like circumference, right? And that's enough coverage.
Yeah.
Like, people from my city or from Rotterdam are never, ever going to go to Amsterdam to buy their B&O stuff. They'll be like, fuck you, that's too far away. I'm just not having it at that point. Also, then you get into like the sort of local politics where people from Rotterdam don't really want to be in Amsterdam and vice versa.
The inner racism of their citizens.
Yes.
I'm not getting to Amsterdammers. Damn you, Amsterdam.
It's like Liverpudlians hating people from Manchester and vice versa. And then,
we got the same, like,
Then both hating people from London. Like, London is then utter garbage. And
yeah, there's always the city hate. Like, even between, like, within the province, like Calgary and Edmonton type of thing, right? The Oilers and Flames and shit.
Yeah.
Like, these morons that, it was so funny. My buddy Nathan went for a Christmas party. This is a few years back, and they went to Edmonton because that's where the headquarters is. Like, he was the only one out of their fucking like echelon sent out that wore a suit. Everybody was wearing a fucking jersey, dude. Like, what are you trying to pull? Oh, we're showing up in numbers, Calgary Flames, bro. Right on. I'm like, you have no class. That's what this is. Show up to a Christmas party with the jersey, dumbass.
So it's roughly 20-80%. I, in brackets, often walk into a B&O store randomly and buy something. Even if I know what I want, I'm not generally buying it straight out before seeing it, playing with it.
Mm-hmm.
Arguably, we're one of the biggest B&O nuts out there because we bloody well started an internet show. I went like, we had like 3 viewers or something initially, and we thought, oh, that's good.
I can't believe 3 people are wasting their time watching us. 3 years later.
Yeah, and it's
thousands of views later too, I guess.
Yeah, so it's been a thing, but even I've been burned too hard with the sort of beta style software thing.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like, I had this idea of buying an M3, but it's only because my other M3 kept on being flawless that it's fine to sort of walk in and purchase.
You've earned your trust.
Yeah. But like the 28s, right? That was like, I'm gonna sit it out a few months to see if nothing funky happens out there. I don't expect it to, but I've been burned this way.
I've been burned every possible way with B&O, so, and then some, especially by losing my license too. So, is what it is. Is what it is. Even the 90s had to go back once. And, some people would just like turn around and get it all the fuck out of my house if it's that much headache. Like, anybody that I would never sell anybody a BeoVision 14 ever.
Yeah.
And at that time, ever. And same with the Horizon. I would never sell you that TV.
Dennis, you're onto something. Like the Dutch thing, very much Rotterdam, Amsterdam, and I don't think foreign people understand the hate between those two cities. Like, there's still World War II jokes and songs about each other.
Wow.
Like, this goes back like a long ass time. Like the people that are born in Rotterdam, like they'll avoid Amsterdam hospitals if they're deadly sick, even if it's the last place they can go, because I don't potentially want to die in Amsterdam.
That's weird.
Yes, I know it's weird. And it's like 30, 40 minutes away from each other. But it's like, it's a weird thing.
Yeah, I
mean, and then the city where I'm at is sort of like, you both are idiots. Go away. Keep that shit over there.
I had no issues being taken to freaking Golden from Rogers Fast when we go to rear-ended. I'm like, no, take me to Calgary. Another 3.5-hour ride. No, dude. So.
Marky Maestro says on the forum, too much quirks reported in a moment regarding 28s. I'm not sure what too many or too much is. I saw that thread, and by the looks of it, it's 2 or 3 people
that have an issue.
Yeah, but the weird Wi-Fi issues. I'm not sure what that means, but they probably sold more than 1,500 units by now. I mean, B&O could do better in their customer support, and it would never get to the forum.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we have to be realistic here. What too many is, quite honestly. I mean, if to put it this way, if 0.5% of iPhones are defective, nobody would bat an eyelid at it. But that's like millions of bloody phones. But Apple is the type of company that then goes, well, here, I have a new one. Done. Right? And B&O is like, could it be your router? Could it be something else? Because it's definitely not us. Definitely not.
Well, but to a certain extent, that is true. Because there could be that you have a shitty router that you have from your internet service provider. You have no idea about any of this internet network stuff, how it works. You just want your stuff to work, right? So you buy yourself, a set of speakers. Personally, I would hardwire them no matter what. Like if somebody's, unless it's completely impossible for me to perform that, I would always insist on hardwiring the speakers. Like that's it. We're gonna do that. I'm gonna hide the cables, but you're going to not call me every Friday when you have somebody over or coming over to make sure that these things turn on.
Yeah.
And second of all, before we even do any of this, I want to see what you have for your network infrastructure. I always ask that. I do not care. Like if you have package, good. I don't care who maintains your network. I completely support it. Good for you. But if you show up or I show up and they got this little AirPod or Apple Air, whatever the thing is, or if it's an apartment, cool. But if it's something that is a large home and they just have a modem stuck in the basement above the electrical panel, because that's where usually it ends up anyways, and then they complain about the network, there is no way that I'm going to let you buy this product before we fix what has to be fixed. And that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I have 28s. Guys, you know me. I've had 50s that were utter garbage, and that's partially why we're here. So if I had 28 issues, I would let you know. But my 28s have been fine. Like, I don't know what to say about them. Other than they're great speakers. And they're super impressive for their size. Max has 28s, also nothing wrong, like he says in chat. Also, coming back to your point about networks and that sort of thing, what you just described is exactly why you want a good dealer, because he'll know your home situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he'll know if there's, I don't know, maybe there's some potential quirk, but like I don't have to keep on explaining to my dealer. If I say to my dealer, right, I want a new speaker for
I want to do.
well, I'm coming
Sorry.
out. You're on something else? Your mic is now in the bathroom.
1 second.
I can mute. Can I? Okay, well, you're back.
No, I know what it is. It's the freaking Bluetooth in the portals. That's what does the
it's
robot
time
sound.
thing again.
What?
Oh no, it's not time. Because sometimes
No, it's just for some reason it's the connection between me and the headphones, or the what's it called?
yeah.
Yeah, I went Atmos. Full bore.
Hello. Hello.
So yeah.
But again, if like what I was gonna say, if I tell my dealer I want, I don't know, let's say I want new speakers for my bedroom,
Yeah.
he'll know the setup, what's there already. It's like,
Well,
oh,
he knows what
okay,
he's going
like,
up against.
yeah, and I know where like potential cable routing, that sort of thing can be done, or what you're asking for, if it's totally insane or doable.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Let me stuff this over.
So, I mean, my dealer's 28 have been fine. I haven't personally heard of anybody with weird 28 issues just yet, so...
I've seen them in Vancouver
You
shop.
changed
They
the
have a little bit of
microphone
robot.
again to your thing, the one on the camera.
Microphone's been changed to Portal now.
Ah, good.
No, I just went hardwired. Like all of a sudden, you're no robot anymore. I don't know what's going on in there. Sounds bollocks. Dennis, I sold my Avant 2 weeks ago. Since I'm moving to Florida, and I'm gonna go with Harmony for sure when I get there. So I've gotten rid of it. Went to a nice home, actually, to a client of mine that I'm building with. Well, he's building a new house, and I'm involved with the B&O in it. He is a sucker for B&O, and so is his son. So his son basically designed this house around B&O completely. The stairs are freaking impeccable. I love them. They looked like those aluminum slabs from the 9000, all the way up. Looks sick. Looks absolutely sick.
Oh, Brian, the only fucking cable you can see is this tiny cable, because I have my little B&O shrine right here now.
What's that cable?
That's the what you call it? The data cable from the Beo Sound 2300 to the Beo Master.
Oh, that's a thin cable.
Yeah, but like pretty soon I'll have a visitor over, and I get special cables, and I'm looking forward to that.
Nice.
And so that's why it's there, because I haven't bothered, because like those cables will be switched out pretty soon. So I mean, I'm not gonna like hide it and then in like, was it like a week and a bit time I have to pull it all out again. It's like, yeah, no.
Should you just Microsoft painted it out?
It's like the pure white.
Nothing to see here. Oh shit, that would be funny.
I could probably do that live on the show.
Oh boy. So yeah, I don't know. I think B&O should really consider and or think about what they're doing with the shops, because
Yeah.
that's their only lifeline as far as the any product is concerned. Because I'm sure as shit you're not gonna sell any of them 28s just like that online, like through a web sale. And if you do, how are you going to have them assembled? Are you going to have them pre-assembled? Then you're risking damage to the product in shipping, or you're going to make a new set of boxes for them? Because you sure as shit, like when I stole the Avant, right? Buddy was watching me take it apart and pack it all into the box, and because he was all very confident that he could put the TV together when they get home. And after he's seen all these screws and everything else, I gave him a bag. Here's the bag, this and that. And he was just, holy shit, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this when I get home. So next week I'm driving out to Edmonton and I think that they want the TV put together. Excuse me. So I'm going to go look at it.
But I mean, I have that cable sleeve, but it's in between the floor and whatnot. But you can't even see that anymore with the blue wall. So, like, I don't understand the bitching, Brian. Plus, I'm not going to live here forever anyway. Once in America, all the walls are hollow anyway. I'll dump it all in the walls.
Well, fuck, dude, don't be such an optimist, because there are places that you can't really pull the cables, but there's always a way to hide them.
Yeah, outside walls.
I wouldn't touch the outside walls. That's fucking you going through vapors and barriers and all that nonsense. I'd go from the inside.
It's all concrete past 98.
From the outside or inside?
Like the outside wall is all cinder block at a minimum, if not steel reinforced normal concrete.
Yeah, but they got regular walls, drywall walls on the inside.
Inside, yeah, sure.
So there you go.
I mean, I'm not saying my cable management is perfect, but like I'm also not gonna spend like the money I would have spent on like moving my fucking plugs down and stuff like that. I'd rather have spent on an extra set of 17s or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said before, like these walls are silly concrete, and it's old-fashioned concrete where, like, the saws they use to get through this wall specifically to my left has to be water cooled, because otherwise you get like 20 centimeters in and the saw blade is gone. And it's like, it's such a pain in the ass. So it's fine, whatever. It's good enough.
I think the cable management, like Dennis is saying, at the dealers, if you go to a dealer I honestly always look at their cable management, because that is the presentation of the installer that is going to be putting your gear together. Because it's not the sales guy that hung the fucking TV on the wall. It was their installer. So that's what you should look at. And I always do. I always want to see the back panels, see how it's all wired. Because if they did it in a hurry in the shop, they're definitely going to do it in a much more hurry in your house, no matter how cared and careful that you might think that they could be. So
yeah, I'm not, like Sandeep says, I'm not going to spend his type of money. That was, I think, on Twitch, and if you're a channel member, you can still find it, but otherwise, it's gone. But the amount of money Sandeep had to spend on his subflooring by accident, and then also to get all the cables in, was insane.
Yeah, but he's also not planning to fucking move by the end of this year, so. Like, that's a little different if you do a long-term something that you're sitting there and just, you live in that house for a while.
Is this cable management so bad on my 18? Like, it's barely...
But there's no other way to do it.
Like, yes, I get that the 28 could be better, but it's also because the fucking plug is there. I mean, if somebody wants to super chat me, like, for that run alone, like, €800, super chat me €800. I'll say thank you and I'll have it done.
Yeah, I don't think that's even necessary. Not in the house that you're checking out of, man.
No. You're still allowed to super chat me whatever amount of money you wish. It's always, I'll do Justin Trudeau. Yeah.
I would swap the lamp with the speaker and cover that shit with the speaker.
The reason I haven't is the corners of the chairs, in case somebody pulls out crooked. I'd rather have them hit the lamp bottom than the speaker bottom.
For real. That's a good point.
And I've noticed when people were over that it already was quite close a few times, and it was like, fuck me.
Put a plank of wood, drill it into the floor.
Yeah.
Stopper.
But yeah, I mean, there's a ton of cables in this picture that you don't see. I mean, you only really see the power cable here. But there's power and data cable, or speaker cable, power and speaker cable, power and speaker cable, because everything's wired.
Mm-hmm. Marky Meister, what about the IKEA model? Just a few relative showrooms. I don't mind driving 30, 45 minutes for it. The product range service is no excellent. Yes, but you're not. That's a completely crazy concept. Like IKEA has, it's a labyrinth of rooms, no windows, no time. So you are, and yes, I understand the value of driving 30, 40 minutes to get somewhere, because then you have, I guess, a market obligation to buy whatever the fuck you want to buy, and because you don't want to go back there and waste all that time driving there. So I understand that concept of it, and I don't know about the know-how because I don't shop in IKEA, but I don't see that model working for B&O whatsoever. They're not that large to do something, like if you look at like Lego stores, how big is Lego comparatively to IKEA? I'm certain it's bigger. And they run a regular boutique shop, but then again, Lego store is set up that, it's very hard to walk out with something. There's not much that you could not afford. Where in B&O, like you come in, yeah, what's the cheapest thing now? Like you can buy a bottle opener, that's your impulse buy. Fuck, there's no point to drive there. And even if you drive there to pick up to buy 28, you're not leaving with them because you just ordered them. They're gonna come in later anyway.
For everybody saying, why don't you hide the cable with the speaker and move the speaker? I can take a picture next time where you can't see the cable because of the speaker, but no matter what I do, if I move the speaker over like 6 inches and hide it from this view, I just have to step over a foot to the right and I'll see it again.
And it's there again. I think the bottle opener is like $15 or whatever, but I think they just give it to you now. Now they have them in ugly gold color, which whatever. I got one just so I can have it, but I still use my trusted one that I stolen from the Denmark Factory 5 lunchroom. Yeah. So that's yeah. There you go. Gold.
It sort of turns silvery on the camera for some reason, but it is gold.
It's fake gold. Where's mine? Mine is covered by the wallet. I can't.
I mean, I have like 3 silver ones, and one of them I have is from like the 80s or something like that.
Dude, I remember the times. Yeah, that one's gonna look a little different. They beveled both sides. Now they just stamp it and just do one side polish. But I remember like when I first came to the shop and they had, like, you could buy them by boxes, and I mean box of 50. It would be not with the fancy packaging and all that. That was the customer appreciation pack or whatever it's called. It was just straight up like, here you go, just to hand them out. I always wish to have like, order a few of them and just have a bowl, like a glass bowl full of those bottle openers, so people like, take one like a candy. It'd be sweet.
Wait, what am I misunderstanding? Just out of interest, what's the Harmony to 50s calling situation? What do you mean calling?
Yeah, I don't get that. Are you using Google Translate again, Sandeep?
If I can answer what the hell does that mean, that word?
Cabling.
Oh, cabling. It's only your native tongue.
What's the Harmony to 50s cabling situation? Well, what you got PowerLink and then you got network link between both speakers, right?
Yeah, and
we get it, Sandeep. 4's enough. Oh shit.
Let me see. Do I have a picture up on Instagram? One of the later pictures. I'll have to see. Uh, can you see on here?
Yeah, show us. What are you talking about, anyways?
The cabling situation.
Mm.
Fortunately, plays without.
You're gonna get copy stricken. Appreciate the beat.
Yeah. Well,
Fuck.
sorry. This is the most recent picture / video thing I have. I'll get it up for next show. There's literally that one plug I can't do much about, but it's all paint matched in color and everything. So
It's fine.
I don't get it. I get that you guys never have to reset anything ever.
Well, yeah, there's nowhere to stuff it into anything anymore.
I mean, I even painted the bloody cable the same color as the wall because I knew I would get bitches like you about.
Fuck.
Brian. I see Brian as the ringleader in this. Brian is a bad influence on you, Sandeep. By the way, we forgot this.
Least but not last.
Bang & Olufsen, operative word, might want to make this modular speaker concept a reality.
I wonder what the hell that is. So that's what, like 4 speakers? Scroll down a bit.
Yeah.
I don't get it. It's so weird. It looks like I guess a modular version of a BeoSound 1 or 2.
Sorta. It also seems totally impractical because have you noticed that the bass shoots down, but there's literally no air gap for the bass to get out of.
Mm.
So they designed.
Yeah, but what if it's shooting it upwards instead? There you go.
Yeah, where
See how it all
to?
comes together into another speaker. I don't know. It's so weird looking too. And how many like channels does that have?
It's where is it? So the way they explain it, the bottom is the bass, the middle thing is, or these two smaller pucks are the mid ranges, and this is like a tweeter situation. It's a concept design of something.
Of course.
But I foresee a heck of a lot of problems because it's
just the connectivity between all these things, for God's sakes, to begin with.
So basically what it is that I'll read a bit. Going to a theater to watch and listen live orchestra music is something many people around the world miss. Social distancing, yada yada yada. For music lovers, they need to find ways how to experience live music once again. Can be a challenge to achieve, but setting up an audio experience at home that is immersive may be close to the real thing. Buying any speaker system that is popular in the market won't always cut it. You need to find the perfect device for some people, even software. And B&O, a lot of acoustics experience behind the scenes. So the idea is that they have a modular, movable surround sound system.
So you can take it to the bathroom with you. It's awesome.
The problem, though, is that every part of it is potentially battery powered.
Of course. Well, how else are you gonna? They're wireless powered now.
Well, that's what I was joking when you sent this over earlier, right? Like, do you want to watch a movie? Oh shit, I forgot to wirelessly charge my surround sound system.
I wonder how big it is too.
There's a couch for size. Yeah. So that would be about
Oh fuck, that's
40
big.
centimeter tall, something like that. At
It
least.
is not small. Yeah. Scroll up, there was the cross section there. That's just weird. That's a weird concept.
I sort of get it, but it's like, huh? Like,
Mid-range driver, tweeter, mid-range driver.
yeah, so the
subwoofer.
mid-range pucks you put somewhere and then you have a tweeter, but it's like, would you want a tweeter from all the channels? Like if you're going for surround or even, let's say you go.
I think those tweeters fire to the sides.
Yeah, but even if it's 2.0 stereo, wouldn't you want a tweeter coming at you from there and there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't understand the concept of moving around the theater. Like this is, I guess, if you live in a fucking one of those tiny homes or something that you can just clean it up after you had your movie and just put it away as one big freaking umbrella stand.
I mean, in
I
terms
wonder
of
if it plays.
the sort of design and or looks, I don't mind it. It's more the
Again, it's a concept. They haven't released it or anything yet. So
no.
nobody.
But if they were to go for something looking like this, I wouldn't mind the look.
Mhm.
I sort of like the look. It's a sort of mixture of like classic style with like some geometry in it. It's more so if it's like taking apart like this, that's weird. Like if they made a few speaker pillars like this, in terms of looks, I almost find this more interesting looking than a balance, although a balance will be more powerful.
Most likely.
But in terms of a shape, right, if you can, let's say, Mozart link a shape like something like this as a left and right speaker, in terms of like how it looks, that looks more B&O-ish to me than a balance does.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I like about it. So the look is fine for me. And you can go hog wild on the colors but the segment mode thing is just bizarre. I like it's an out of the box exercise in terms of thinking and what can we do with the speaker, but
I don't know how far that'll carry. Because you do have, anytime you listen to this, there is a time limit. Because everything will eventually run out of power, and you have to charge it all. So it's not something like if you're watching, I don't know, if you watch a freaking Titanic on it, will it last? Or whatever, it's that stupid movie, the Lord of the Rings or whatever, those 9-hour sessions.
well, the director's cut's only 4.
Shit.
Generic enthusiast over on Twitch says people often think audio systems should be trying to replicate the oral experience of live performances. Do they really? Because
Bose does it.
No, but do they understand how much money that costs? Because like somewhere in here, right, they say, oh yeah, the bottom bit will play the sounds of a tuba or something like that. Like those, an instrument like a tuba is not a sound any old speaker can just reproduce. Not faithfully anyway. Like you can make a low hum that sort of sounds like it, but to make it as if it was live, no way. Like that's why 90s are so fucking expensive. Like 90s can do that, but there's a reason for that. Like those trombones and like those very low bass brass instruments. Like that's not something most speakers just like throw out there as a sound.
Yeah, they don't. So
it's that's nuts if you think you can like go to a classic music orchestra and just have a speaker reproduce that. Bloody hell, that's dynamic. That is so hard. If people
Yeah, this
really
would be
want
like
that, sure, but you're gonna spend a good chunk of change.
yeah. I don't know. I think it's a good idea, a good concept, good thought process to it. I don't know if it'll ever catch. Like I said, we're criticizing something that's not even in existence. But I like the playable concept of it. I like how it looks. I definitely like it's deceiving on these pictures to how big it is actually compared to the size. It probably has the same driver that would be in like the S8
Yeah,
or
something like
A9,
that.
would be something like that on along those lines. But that would be powered, right? The subwoofer is always powered. The rest would do it uh, do without, I guess. Or is there a possibility that you can put a USB C?
Can you imagine a battery powered subwoofer? Like you get like one of those, whoa, and it's like battery dead.
Done. You get that doot, doot, disconnected.
Way too much amperage.
Oh god. Yeah, dude. I don't know. It looks like an interesting idea. I think it's more or less for. It's not for us. It's not for true B&O people. This is for people that are quite content to watch and consume media off of their handheld devices with a set of headphones, maybe if even that, and they're fine with like to them this would be real surround because anything that is better than a cell phone speaker will blow their mind, and that's where I think this ends. It's not going to be something that I will ever buy. But I think that no, I think the subwoofer would have to be powered. There's no way. There's no bloody way that it would be. I think that honestly, that those lines on the bottom are just for cable management.
Yeah.
Because I think that maybe it is downward firing, but it's ported to the outside through the top.
I mean, if they want to salvage any of this and make this the new Beosound 1 or 2 or something like this, I could go with that.
Hmm.
In terms of the looks and the sort of pillar shape, it's interesting. I mean, it's unique looking, but like don't make it come apart, please. That's just gonna go wrong. And then what happens if you move your speakers around and you drop one piece, right? And it's like, fuck, now I have to buy this insert thing.
Now it's dented.
Yes. And then you have Brian going in chat. It's just a thing, man. Who
It's
cares?
just the thing, bro. Don't
Unless
worry
it's his
about
thing and then he's bothered.
it. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, how's the ding platter going, Brian?
See, but I think the biggest difference, Brian, what you're asking is 50s don't fire downwards, so they don't transfer as much into the structure.
Like what Cassette says, honey, have you seen the tweeter?
Fuck, it's gonna be that too. Can you actually like what? Can you page it?
Well, unless it's dead.
Fuck. It's a funny system. It's a fun idea. I don't think that that'll ever take off, but it's a good thought process to it. I appreciate that. So I'm gonna get going
Alrighty.
because my back is absolutely shot, dude. Like I don't know what to do with myself. I'm looking at my new Amazon purchase. Oh, the rollerball, that is a fucking godsend, and I can't believe I ordered it drinking bourbon at 11:30 at night on Friday, and it showed up at my door at 3:30 on Saturday. So yeah, but yeah, that's also another plus that Sandeep has because he's put copious amounts of money into floor subfloor.
Well, not
As
only
he,
that, like fives have like a counterweight to stop themselves from hopping up and down when that
that's
15
right.
inch driver. So you sort of create an earthquake, and with 50s you create air pressure, which is like air pressure doesn't transfer to like solid objects that easily, whereas the fives
No,
are literally doing that the whole time when you turn them up. and the
Yeah.
50s just don't. They just sort of go.
Yeah, 50s are pulled in 3 directions, basically, just like the
Yeah.
9s.
Yeah, for anybody watching the Super Bowl, have a good one. I'll be watching. I'll annoy you later, Sandeep. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have a good one. Like and subscribe if you haven't done that already.
Tomorrow's up in the air, depends on when my appointment is with the chiropractor, because I can't fucking sit here. Like, I'm literally dying right now, so I need to figure out how to get into the chiro. And if it works out that it's before the noon, then I think what's gonna happen, we'll probably bag up or pack up the 90s on the chat.
We'll see how it goes. I'll most likely be here, and if not, I'll do something. I don't know, maybe interesting, maybe not. Who knows? We'll see. Support Skinny Play. Links down below. Go to Karel and. I think that's about it. And don't forget to buy your missus a Valentine's gift in case you forgot it's tomorrow.
Yeah, dude. Get some fucking chocolates, run away quickly. Put your mask on and go to the store.
Thank you, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one. Bye!
Bye.